This video feels a little bit off topic for me, different from the videos that I usually make. In the autism community, a lot of people, and I know I'm late to the party, but a lot of people have been talking about the Stauffers and Huxley. If you somehow have missed all of the discussion, Huxley was a baby that they adopted from China, who was 1 year old, who they knew had special needs, but they did not know when they adopted him that he was autistic, and he did end up being autistic, and he was diagnosed I think about a year ago. And his parents, the Stauffers, announced on social media earlier this week that they were rehoming him and that he had a new mommy, and this caused quite the outroar. I am not sure how much I can add to the conversation. I can say that I used to watch their channel. And the reason that I started watching their channel was when I decided to start a YouTube channel. I started watching different channels on how to make videos. And I found out that I really liked to make videos. It kind of became a really big special interest for me. That is how our channel started. During this time, I was watching a creator channel and I saw an interview with Myka Stauffer. And it kind of highlighted her as how to start a YouTube channel, and that was when I started watching her channel. And I watched so many channels at that point, so many different family channels, most of which I don't watch anymore just because I don't have a lot of time to watch anything. Honestly, what I usually watch nowadays is I listen to crime channels as I'm cleaning, but I don't watch things that I can't just listen to. I don't usually watch things that I have to watch. I listen to things. I watched their channel along with many other channels to sort of learn how this whole thing was done. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary until they announced that Huxley had been diagnosed as being autistic. And then I started paying attention, and I unsubscribed pretty soon after because the way that they treated him made me really uncomfortable. First, I tried commenting a few times. I don't even remember what I commented, but I don't actually know if it was so much the way that they treated him or the way that they talked about him, but I just remember that every time I was watching their channel, it made me so uncomfortable, and it happened enough times that I finally unsubscribed. It just felt wrong. So wrong that, and honestly, that was long before I knew that I was autistic, or before several of our kids were diagnosed. That was really when we just knew about Maggie and Tessie. It just made me so uncomfortable the way that they talked about him after his diagnosis. It just really kind of did feel like that whole broken, he needs to be cured sort of talk. I couldn't stick around to hear more of that. Fast forward to now, I'm probably not going to say anything different than anything you've already heard. He's 4. He's been there for 3 years. The part that probably breaks my heart the most is him being taken away from his brothers and sisters that he's lived with for 3 years. I don't know if they're thinking about that much because I'm not sure how observant they are of thinking about, of really realizing how much he's probably bonded with his siblings. I cannot imagine any of my kids' lives without their brothers and sisters, even though they're siblings who are, each of our kids are 2 years apart, so obviously they argue. They also are extremely close, and I don't know. That little boy was just torn away from really the only family he's ever known and the only siblings that he's ever known, and that's extremely heartbreaking. There's a post going around from Facebook where Myka talked in a Facebook group about how irritating it was that this little boy would stare at them while they would eat. And honestly, well, number one, just apart from like the obvious that he'd been in an orphanage and probably not getting enough to eat, that other part that he was paying attention to them and looking at them while they were all having meals, and that they were getting annoyed with him because he was looking at them, that just breaks my heart. So I'm not going to get deep into this because I feel like everybody has already said all the things that need to be said. It's upsetting. 4 is a hard age for neurotypical kids, for neurodiverse kids. I just don't really feel like this little boy had a chance. And saying he chose to go live with a new mommy, he's 4. That's that's just ridiculous. Anyways, but there's something else I want to talk about. And that is the other thing that has come up in almost every single video that I've watched. And that is family channels, which I guess we kind of are. We're an autism channel, but I mean, we show our family, our kids are here. And a lot of the things that I've watched have talked about how family channels are bad, how kids shouldn't be on the internet. Obviously, I haven't reached the same conclusion. I think there's so many scary images of autism out there that it's really helpful to see that it isn't all scary. I wouldn't be showing my kids on YouTube if I thought that it was harmful. But I want to come in here really big and say that I have some really strict rules for myself, for what we show, for our family, I guess. Like, and I know I've said this before, but our channel's grown since then, and I imagine a lot of people haven't watched that video a long time ago where I talked about it. Like, we will never show meltdowns. In fact, I feel pretty uncomfortable even talking about them. It's come up really occasionally, really specifically, but really I don't get into too much detail talking about the kids, and I don't really have meltdowns. I guess you'd say I have shutdowns and disassociation more than meltdowns, but that's another video. And we don't show or even really talk about potty issues or really anything that you could think of that is super private. If you wouldn't want it on the internet, we're probably not going to be showing it. And then there's also like the length of time. So if you think of our channel and how much of like the vlog part of life you show, when I film a day in the life here, generally that is about 15 to 45 minutes of our day that I have actually shot. I carry around my little GoPro, it fits in my pocket, and when I take it out and I film part of something that we're doing, generally I film anywhere between 15 seconds and 3 minutes. Maybe if we're running around outside, I'll film like 9 minutes, but nobody really pays attention to me. That's like, if no one's paying attention to me, I might walk around filming everybody playing. But that would be a lot of filming for me, 9 minutes. Generally, it's closer to 15 to 3 minutes of time, and then I'll probably put my camera away for an hour or two, and then if something fun's going on, I'll pull my camera back out for usually less than a minute, and I'll just get like a little space of what we're doing, and then I shove my camera back in my pocket. And that is how we make day in the life vlogs. It's just little pieces of our day, usually the highlights, and then I put it all together, usually with some talking, usually with some music the talking that I've recorded at the time. So it's not super intrusive into our days, and sometimes we go an entire week and I don't film, and then I'm like, I should probably make a couple videos, and then I'll make 2 in a row, and then I'll look and I'll have like 15 minutes of video from one day, and then the next, and then the next. So maybe 45 minutes of video or an hour and a half of video spread out over 3 days. And that's how our vlogs work. It's not like our kids are being videoed 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, or 5 days a week, or even 3 days a week. A long day of me videotaping would probably be an hour and 45 minutes, and I can't even remember the last time that I've taken that much video in a day. Probably like when we go to when we went to a theme park or something like that, and I was taking tons of video footage of the kids like laughing on the rides and eating food and stuff like that. And the other thing you have to understand about this is that the kids, with the exception of Tessie who's little, is that the kids are pretty into this, including Maggie. Maggie watches our videos a lot, maybe more than anyone else. Actually Tessie does too. But Maggie, when she wakes up in the morning, asks to watch our videos. Yesterday, Maggie watched the video where Sadie and I talked about autism for 3 or 4 times. I kept asking her, like, don't you want to watch something else? Because she has other favorite videos. Like, do you want to watch the birthday party video? Do you want to watch the cake video? Do you want to watch the water park video? She has different names for the videos that she's come up with. Like, do you want to watch Candyland? And she'd be like, nope, school. She's named it School. The video where Sadie and I talk about autism, she has decided is called School. We sit on the bed and talk about autism. That video. And I'd be like, are you sure? And she'd be like, School? Like, okay. So she watched that video 4 times. And then this morning when she woke up, she watched it again, so 5 times, and she sat there and watched it. Maggie is constantly constantly grabbing my camera and trying to take selfies of herself and record herself. She is pretty into cameras. I want to get her a camera. I want to find a really heavy duty camera and get that for her in the near future. Well, I already have a ton of birthday presents for her, so I'm not sure how soon it will be. And I also just bought her a new bed with a slide. And I put a new floor in her room. We have a lot going on right now. Anyways, so I just wanted to explain that for people who see our channel and see all the videos of the kids. And I know it can seem like a lot because I have a video up every day. But I also slip in videos of me talking, and then I'll also grab little parts of our day and use it for other videos. I try to mix things up so that the kids aren't getting videotaped that much. It's not a huge part of their lives. And yes, I am big on respecting their privacy. We definitely have talks about what we're showing and what we're not showing. And obviously, like every channel, you're not seeing everything because everyone deserves privacy, especially kids. So you're gonna see way more of like when they're having fun playing outside than you'll ever see of meltdowns here because, as I said, we don't show that sort of thing. Anyways, those are my thoughts on some very sensitive topics. I know it's a fine line, but that is how I try to walk it. Anyways, that is it for today. If you like this video, we would love it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you hit subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.